It's a mystery that has haunted the small town of Greenville, Texas for over 2 decades. A cryptic note left behind by an unknown individual, leaving even law enforcement stumped in their pursuit of justice. The note was discovered on January 14, 1998, in the parking lot of a local business, bearing no fingerprints, no DNA, and no discernible clue as to its origins. The contents of the note read, "They're coming for you. Tell Lisa." A simple, yet ominous phrase that has puzzled investigators ever since. The case file is filled with theories, from gang-related activity to a twisted prank gone wrong. But one thing remains certain: this was no ordinary crime. At first, police thought it might be a prank call or a mischievous teenager's attempt at humor. But as the investigation unfolded, it became clear that something much more sinister was at play. The note had been left on the windshield of a car parked in the lot, a deliberate act designed to send a message. Detective James Thompson, one of the lead investigators on the case, remembers it vividly. "We were stumped," he recalls. "The note just seemed so calculated. Like whoever wrote it knew exactly what they were doing." The police department scoured the town, interviewing witnesses and reviewing security footage, but every lead ended in a dead end. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the town of Greenville became increasingly entangled in the mystery. Neighbors whispered to each other about the note, speculating about its meaning and who could have written it. But one thing was certain: this was no ordinary case. The cryptic note had awakened a sense of unease in the community, leaving everyone wondering what exactly they were being warned about. The small town of Greenville, Texas, with its charming Main Street and bustling downtown area, was like any other American community on that fateful day in January 1998. It was a typical Tuesday morning, with locals going about their daily routines, when something peculiar caught the attention of employees at a local business. In the parking lot, a small piece of paper had been discarded, seemingly carelessly left behind. As fate would have it, the note was discovered by a concerned citizen who promptly alerted the authorities. The Greenville Police Department quickly responded to the scene and began processing the area for any potential evidence. Upon closer inspection, officers realized they were dealing with more than just a routine littering incident. The note itself was brief but ominous, consisting of only 3 cryptic lines: "You'll never find me, I'm not what you think." The writing style was peculiar, with no identifying marks or distinguishing characteristics that could lead investigators to the individual who penned it. This lack of concrete evidence would prove to be a significant obstacle for law enforcement, and one that would persist for years to come. The date of January 14, 1998, marked the beginning of a 2-decade-long mystery that would captivate the town's residents and leave many with more questions than answers. As the initial investigation unfolded, detectives from the Greenville Police Department carefully examined every aspect of the note, searching for any possible connections or clues that might reveal the identity of the elusive author. However, despite their best efforts, nothing concrete emerged. No fingerprints, no DNA evidence, no witnesses came forward with information about the person who wrote those haunting words. The case remained open, but it would soon become one of many cold files gathering dust on the shelves of the police department's crime unit. The investigation into the cryptic note began immediately after its discovery in January 1998. Local law enforcement, including the Greenville Police Department and the Hunt County Sheriff's Office, banded together to piece together the clues left behind by the unknown author. Among the first key developments was the identification of a partial fingerprint on the note itself. The print belonged to a male individual with no record of prior convictions in the state of Texas. This discovery led investigators to suspect that the writer may have been someone from the local area, or at least had ties to Greenville. In 2001, a local woman named Kathy came forward claiming she recognized the handwriting on the note. She believed it belonged to her ex-boyfriend, James. Kathy's testimony sparked renewed interest in the case, and investigators began to question James about his involvement. However, James denied any wrongdoing and provided an alibi for the time the note was written. A subsequent investigation into his background revealed no evidence linking him to the crime scene or the cryptic message itself. Despite this setback, detectives persisted in their search for answers. They reviewed countless hours of security footage from surrounding businesses, interviewed numerous witnesses, and analyzed DNA samples collected from the note's surface. As the years went by, law enforcement agencies pored over every detail of the note, searching for a lead that would crack the case. But it remained an enigma, a puzzle with no clear solution. The cryptic message was scrawled on a piece of paper, approximately 8.5 inches long and 11 inches wide, made from a standard office printer's paper stock. Investigators estimated the note to be around 10 to 15 minutes old when it was discovered, based on the freshness of the ink. Despite an exhaustive investigation, the author of the note remained a mystery. No fingerprints were found on the document, no DNA evidence linked to any individual, and no surveillance footage showed anyone suspiciously lurking in the area. The note itself provided few clues. "You will be silent." Some investigators believed it was a simple threat, while others saw it as a veiled warning of an impending event. The lack of tangible leads left many questions unanswered. Was this a prank gone wrong or a genuine attempt at intimidation? Or was something more sinister at play? The silence surrounding the case has raised concerns about potential serial offenders in the area. Local residents have been forced to live with the uncertainty, forever wondering if they were somehow connected to the mysterious note. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, BAU, has also taken a close look at the note, applying their expertise in profiling suspects and predicting behavior. According to former BAU agent, Dr. Catherine Mitchell, the use of an unassuming document, seemingly ordinary on the surface, is a classic tactic employed by individuals trying to remain under the radar. She speculates that the author may have been attempting to evade detection, perhaps even planting misleading clues. As researchers continue to study and analyze the note, new insights are continually emerging. Theories abound, from gang-related activity to a disgruntled former resident seeking revenge. However, none of these hypotheses have yielded concrete evidence or led to an arrest. As investigators delved deeper into the mystery, a peculiar breakthrough emerged. In 2008, nearly a decade after the note's discovery, Detective Mark Davis re-examined the case files, poring over every shred of evidence. It was during this review that he stumbled upon an obscure interview with a local resident, Sarah Jenkins, who claimed to have seen a person matching the note's description near the parking lot on the day in question. Davis became increasingly intrigued by Jenkins' testimony and decided to revisit her alibi for January 14, 1998. What he found was astonishing. Jenkins had initially stated that she was at home with her family, but subsequent checks revealed that she was actually working a late shift at a nearby restaurant that evening. This new information sparked an intense investigation into Jenkins' possible involvement. However, as detectives dug deeper, inconsistencies in their timeline and further evidence pointed to the possibility of a more complex web of events unfolding. Sarah Jenkins' alibi had unraveled, yet her potential connection to the crime remained unclear. With each passing day, questions mounted: was she an unwitting pawn or an accomplice? The truth, it seemed, was hiding behind a labyrinthine trail of deceit and misdirection. As detectives worked tirelessly to untangle this intricate puzzle, they began to uncover hints that suggested this cryptic note might be more than just a simple prank. It may have been the opening salvo in a sinister game of cat and mouse, one that had left even the most seasoned investigators grasping for answers. The case was far from over. In fact, it was about to take an unforeseen turn, one that would raise more questions and fuel speculation. After 2 decades, the cryptic note remains an enigma, a haunting reminder that some secrets may forever be left unsolved. Despite the tireless efforts of law enforcement and amateur sleuths alike, the identity of the note's author remains a mystery. The case has become a testament to the complexities of human nature, where even the most seemingly straightforward clues can lead down a labyrinthine path. For those who have devoted themselves to unraveling the enigma, the frustration and disappointment are palpable. Many have devoted countless hours poring over theories, scrutinizing every detail, and analyzing every shred of evidence.